Boys, the roster update is finally. If you're looking for cheap, reliable MLB The Show stubs, look no further than our sponsor, U4GM. They have fast delivery and is always safe. Make sure, if you want to save even more, to use my discount code Deebo at checkout for 5% off. Boys, the stats have finally stopped counting for this next coming roster update, which is in 2 more days. With that being said, do you guys want to know my favorite investments per team? Stay tuned. Yo, what's going on, guys? Deebo here, and today we are going to make y'all some millions, you know what I'm saying? We have a, obviously we have the roster and update coming in 2 more days, as we can see via this screen right here, the roster upgrades and downgrades, as well as a bunch of all-star content. They've been dropping some teasers. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff, but there is there's some stubs to still be made with this roster update coming through. So I'm going to tell you guys each my favorite investment for every team, all 30 teams. We will be doing every single one, and yeah, man, if you guys are ready to make some millions, let's get into it. Also, one more thing I want to say, we have started a college football 26 channel. It will be popping up right now. I know I said that yesterday, didn't get it in on time, but the link is in the description of this video to that channel. If you guys like college football, you guys got to hit the subscribe button to that channel. We post in daily on here and on there, so I would appreciate the support that you guys show me on here on that channel as well. But yeah, also, if you are new, like and sub is always appreciated. But let's get into it. So the Baltimore Orioles is a very interesting team. I don't think they have a lot of really good investments this time around. Not a bunch of them. The one person that I really like the most probably is going to be Colton Cowser. Right now he's a 79, and he is very close to getting the 80 overall treatment. He actually is able to get to an 81 overall if he just gets 12 overalls. I'm gonna be honest, for the fact that he's only 264 stubs, that's a really good price to get in on him. And I don't think a lot of people are really talking about him. And for him being a 79 and needing just 12 attributes, I don't see how more people aren't really invested in him, honestly. This is one of my favorite guys right now to be investing in, especially on the Orioles. Oops. Next team we got is the Red Sox, and there's a few. We'll talk about multiple people, but we're gonna do at least one per team, like my definitive, right? Obviously, I have 316 Abraham Toro, and he is not my favorite investment. I actually just have him because I do a lot of the gold exchanges, and he was just somebody that was available and pretty cheap. So even though I have over 300 of them, that's not my guy, right? So my guy, obviously between these two, both very good. Ceddanne Rafaela has been going pretty solid recently. Obviously he's somebody with diamond fielding and common hitting, which is a great archetype to be investing in, especially when somebody's hitting really good in real life. Ceddanne Rafaela is really good. I think he would be a great investment, but my favorite from the Red Sox is going to be Aroldis Chapman. This 37-year-old man has been throwing missiles. As I was saying, this 37-year-old man has been throwing freaking missiles from the bullpen. Not like that's not something that he's done for his entire career. He's been great, truly. And I am debating between a 85 and an 86 for him. But to be honest, I'm leaning more towards the 86. Even if he's only an 85, I still do think there's room to invest in him. Rafaela is a little weird in terms of his hitting stats are really bad. So they could legitimately see a massive upgrade. We can see that if he gets plus 16 to his attributes, he'll get 2 overalls, right? And the price that he is currently worse than him being an 83, right? I mean, it might be pretty similar, but his quick sell would be 1,200. For the price that he is right now, he would have to be 84, which I do find to be kind of possible, but it's a little it's a little hard. It's a little hard. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do for him. I do like both of them as an investment, though. Deron is a solid shout as well as Willier. Why do I keep pressing it like that? Okay, next we got the Yankees. And I'm stuck between 2 people, but I'm going to go with one because this one, the first guy is a little overpriced. Jazz Chisholm is the upgrade or my favorite investment for the Yankees right now. I do think he's very solid, and I honestly want to get more of him. I don't think I have enough personally, and I think I could. I mean, we can check him right now. He needs plus 30 to his hitting stats, or his stats in general, to become an 85 overall. I'm not saying he's going to get an 85, right? I don't see that this upgrade, update at least, but I do see him getting an upgrade for sure. We can see the next guy that I'm talking about is Cody Bellinger. He needs a plus 8 to become an 85 overall. That's really not that hard, and I do lean towards Cody Bellinger being a diamond. So, but the price margins it's a little hard to get in on them right now. I mean, it's a little later into the roster update. As I said, there's only 2 days left, but these are both still pretty solid investments, I would say. Definitely nothing bad from either of those guys. If I hit the flashback button one more time, next team that we got is a team that I talked about a lot. A very solid team indeed, and a lot of upgrades will be happening. I can guarantee you at least 4 players on this team will be getting upgraded. But who is my favorite upgrade? In terms of the price, probably Brandon Lau. I would say that you're going to get the best investment, return on your investment, rather, for him right now. He's at 300 stubs. He's a 78, though, and you can't really check his stats in terms of going up because he's supercharged right now. So we can see that Yandy Diaz will go up 2 overalls if he gets plus 14, which, to be honest, I think he could probably get 14 overalls. He's been really good. We can see for Aranda, to get 4 overalls, he needs 30 to his hitting stats. I mean, I could see it, but, it'll be kind of tough. The next team that we got is the Blue Jays, and I honestly we're going to see a lot of upgrades, I believe, from the Blue Jays. I believe they're on currently a 10-game winning streak, 9? It's one of the two, or maybe even more, right? It's at least a 9, I believe. And that's in due large part to Addison Barger. He's been really insane. A very good investment, but people already know about him, and I don't see him becoming like a gold, so I don't know if he's exactly like investable in right now. I could see he'll probably jump to like a 79, 78 at least, right? Which is still good, right? He's at 175. I think out of people on this team that's going to get the highest boost, it's going to be Addison Barger, right? But that's not going to, for what the price is he's at right now, it's not going to change it much. My favorite investment for this team is going to be George Springer. I know he is at 900, which is the quick sell price of an 82, but I'm leaning more towards an 83 for George Springer. He's been really, really good. As we can see, he is the fan voted supercharged player of the week for June 30th to July 6th. So he's been really good, obviously, and people have taken note. Somebody who also is a pretty solid investment is Alejandro Kirk. He's pretty close to minimum price for where he's at right now. And he could be receiving a big upgrade. To get a plus 3, he needs 26, which Seems like a lot, but for the fact that he doesn't have much, like, in terms of his hitting stats aside from contact, it's really not that bad. Very interesting for sure. Man, I remember when George Springer went to a silver, I think it was a 79. I had like 200 of him. I wish I still had 200 of him. I do not anymore, but we'll see. Next up, we have everybody's favorite team. Yeah, the White Sox. Yeah, well, this is a team. This is certainly a team. I would say I give it to Shane, because he's an all-star. That's about it. I'm so sorry if you're a Sox fan. Please don't hate me. I love Chicago sports, but the White Sox suck, and you know that. Anyway, next team we got is the Cleveland Guardians, and I'd say my favorite investment from this team, probably Santana. I'd say he's the closest one to gold in terms of the silvers. I don't think they give it to Bo. I mean, he needs to get a +1, he needs 10. So for him to get a +3, he probably needs like a 25. Pretty close to that. And we can see that Santana loses. I wonder, is he a 78 because I haven't paralleled? I don't know, honestly. So I won't say anything about that. Cade Smith, you know, he's got a pretty big boost in terms of inside edge, but I don't know how much that's gonna mean. I would say whoever you can mostly get for minimum is really nice. Santana's not a bad price if you think that he's going to gold, but you know, we'll see. Next team that we got is the Detroit Tigers. Man, they've been great this year, and their whole team honestly has been really good. Scooble obviously has been phenomenal, and yes, I do think he's getting upgraded. I don't think that means you can necessarily invest in him. I wouldn't be, but you know, he is a guy that should be going up. I do think my favorite investment is probably Riley Green, even at the price that he is right now, which for an 80 overall is a little high, isn't bad. We can see that he gets a +3, he would need 28, which I do think he's pretty close to getting. His average is really high this year, which is pretty surprising for the amount of like how much of a power hitter he truly is. Also an all-star this year. Very good. I'm glad he's getting the recognition he deserves. He's been nice. And I do think that he's pretty investable in, to be honest. Next team that we got is the Royals, man. The Royals are a very interesting squad right here. Got a lot of people that could be going up. And my favorite investment is actually somebody that isn't at this higher end. It's actually going to be a young fella. Goes by the name of Jack Coleon. So Jack is a player. He's a prospect. Just came through this season, and is now a everyday starter because he's been very good. His power numbers are honestly definitely going up. Obviously he's not gonna go to like a gold or nothing, but he's been really good for the Royals, like surprisingly. And I do believe that he is pretty close. I'd say he's on par with like Jonathan India. So he's better than Jonathan India though, honestly. Sorry, Jonathan. But I'd say he's at least going to go 76. Pretty close to like 77 is what I'm seeing for my boy right now. And he's at 27 coins. This is a really, really good investment right now. Yeah. Next team we got is the Minnesota Twins, a very solid team. They've been kind of up and down, middle of the pack, but still got a decent amount of players that have been really good. And my favorite investment is none other than Byron Buxton. Still kind of a pretty solid investment. He is not cheap for the grand scheme of an 86 overall, but I'm kind of seeing that he might go to an 87, 88. I really like Byron Buxton. He's very solid. He's been amazing in real life. He's an all-star. I believe the only all-star for the Twins, if I'm right about that. But I also like Johan Duran. He's a very solid one as well. If you don't really want to pay this price, because it's not a great price to get in on. I got in on him a little cheaper than that, which I'm happy about. But Duran's very solid. And that's your Minnesota Twins, man. We got the Astros up next, though. And my favorite investment, pretty obvious, I'd say. But there are some people on this team that I like more than others in general. I do think that this team is going to be seeing some upgrades, for sure. And if you want a specific answer on somebody, just let me know. Ask in the comments. I will do my best. Hey, if you made it this far and you haven't hit the like, come on. We making millions on Friday. If you are going to be making millions, you guys got to hit that like, man. And the sub. We are going crazy. My favorite investment is obviously going to be Framber Valdez. I think a lot of people are worried because against the Dodgers, he wasn't the best. But in that game, he still had like 8 strikeouts, right? The thing about that is, look at his strikeouts, his K per nines. They're very weak. And on the year, I believe this is one of the best years in terms of strikeouts for Framber Valdez. I know he gave up some runs. He gave up some hits. But he doesn't give up that many hits. Like, that game is a bit of an outlier. I don't think that's going to affect him much. I really don't. And he also hasn't been walking as many people. I think Framber is a really good investment. He's about 100 more than minimum, which still isn't that bad, I believe. He's a really good investment, and I don't think enough people have him. And I'm shocked that he's not over 1,000 right now. Definitely some other people on the Astros that I like, but we go into the Angels next, and my favorite investment is gonna probably end up being, I'd say Neto, just because he's at minimum price. Do I think he goes up? Possibly. It looks like he needs a +8 to get a 1 overall bump, which is very nice. A very nice thing to see. But that doesn't take much, honestly. I don't think that he's going to be the highest overall jump on the team. I believe that'll probably be Joe Adell. But the thing about Joe Adell is he's already 327. He needs 30 to be a 81, 30 attributes. And the only way that you're making profit is if he's an 80 or 81, right? Which he needs a 3 or a 4 overall upgrade. Don't think that the profit margins are necessarily there. I'd kind of just leave him alone. But if you have him and you got him at a good price, he's great to have, I will say. Do I think he can go to gold? Most likely, but little hard to get in on him now. Next player that we got is gonna come from the Athletics, and we are talking about Nick Kurtz. Absolutely came out of nowhere and has been exploding on the scene. Just hit a grand slam last night, his first of his career. Has had many walk-offs, and you're telling me that he's common hitting? I hate to break it to you, but this man is anything but common. He's been great, honestly. And this A's team is very young. There's a lot of people that could see upgrades. I'm not saying that Nick Kurtz is going to get a crazy bump, but we can see that on his inside edge, he's bumped all the way up to a 76. It does take 44 attributes for that to be the case, but I'm seeing him getting a lot, man. I'm seeing close to like a... I honestly think that he can get to the gold tier. Not gold, I'm so sorry. Get to the silver tier, this roster update, which would cost 7 overall boost. I don't know what that is in terms of him, in terms of his attributes, but I do think that he's still really good. not the best investment because he's already at 162. But I mean, he's been hitting great, and you got to get on some of these guys early because, I mean, look at Jacob Wilson. He started as probably like a 60 something, right? He's a diamond now. So if Nick Kurtz don't stop, you know, he gonna be sitting up here with him and Mason Miller, right? We'll see. We will see. Next team that we got is gonna be the Mariners. Definitely a solid team. Obviously, they have the home runs leader in Cal Riley, somebody that I'm hanging on to, and somebody who is definitely going to a 90 overall. So if you have him, hold on to him. He's 10K. Don't buy him if you don't have him already. Not a good investment at this current price. Unless you somehow think that he's going to go to like 20, 25K. I don't know where his price is going to be, right? So I'm not saying that he's a great investment. I have some of them because, you know, I got him at a price that I'm willing to pay. 10K, a little too much, I believe. But I think the best investment on this team right now is going to be Julio Rodriguez. He's about minimum price. Do I believe that he's going up? Maybe. It's not that hard for him to go up, though. 8 overall attributes. It's not the hardest thing, man. He is an all-star this year. I do believe that could play a part in it. I think that they'll probably give him the nod, which if that's the case, he's going to double in stubs, right? 8 overall attributes is really not that many, especially when you have all of these stats to go through. If, let's just say, he was hitting better against righty, like just by 0.025%. I could see him getting from a 50 to a 58, right? That's a diamond at that point, right? I think just for the fact that he's so cheap, he's the best investment by far on that team. At least at the current prices. Next team that we got is going to be the Texas Rangers. I think my favorite investment is pretty easily going to be Corey Seager. I could see this guy get pretty close to an 85, but maybe not make it. He's been hitting better. Like, after coming back and getting back into the groove of things, he's been hitting better recently, for sure. He's currently at 1,800, which is higher than what an 84 would be going for. I think he's right there, right? He's not had a great season by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know, man. I definitely think that he could get back up to the 85s. This roster update, maybe not, but for surely a great investment for where his hitting has been. Next team that we got is the Atlanta Braves, man. And, sorry, Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach is injured. He ain't coming back yet. I think it's going to be like 2 more months, to be honest. Be pretty close to the offseason before he comes back. Not offseason, the playoffs, I should say. My favorite investment is probably going to be my boy Drake Baldwin. He's been, I believe, an everyday hitter for this team. He's a 23-year-old, and he hits, man. He hits. I don't know where they play him. Do they play him at catcher? They might DH Sean Murphy. Or I'm not entirely sure how they do the lineup, but I know Drake Baldwin plays most games. Very good hitter. And we can see it is a bit of a hard one for him to get to a 78. He needs plus 14. I guess that's not necessarily true. Well, he'll be a 78 with at least a plus 14, right? So he won't need more than that. But he'll need at least a plus 15 to get to 79, I should say, right? He has been hitting really well, though, and he's a young guy. He's only got bronze hitting and defense. He's already a 77 at 23. I definitely think it's better to get in on him earlier because if he keeps up with the way that he's playing, I mean, he's going to go to a gold easily, right? The Braves have definitely been a better team ever since Ronald Acuna came back, and Drake Baldwin has not slowed down because of it, right? So, next team that we got is going to be the Miami Marlins, a very meh team, but I definitely think there are some decent guys that stand out. Obviously, I have a lot of Dane Myers. That's mostly because of the gold exchange, like I talked about before, but he's also not a bad investment, I don't think. My favorite investment right now is probably going to be Otto Lopez, though. He is an 81 overall, and he's going for 946, which is kind of expensive, just a little bit. But, I mean, even with a -8, Otto is not going down overall, which means that he's really close to being an 82. Like, just barely missed the mark, I would assume. Which means it would be even easier for him to be an 83 than for him to go down. I honestly think he's a very solid investment. Is 946 great of a price for an 81? No, not necessarily. But the Miami Marlins, you're kind of picking and choosing. My favorite investment on the Mets is going to obviously be Edwin Diaz. He is at 250, 2.5K in terms of his stats. We can see that he goes to a 87 overall if he gets a +10 to his attributes. I can't guarantee that he's going to get a +10 to go to an 87, but honestly, I'm definitely seeing diamond for this guy. He has been phenomenal. He started off a little rocky, but has ever since has been phenomenal. I think a lot of people probably expected Juan Soto, and I do have some of him because I do think he is good, and he will be getting an upgrade, 1000%, guarantee it. But I think for the price that he is right now, he's probably not going to go super duper high. He'll probably go to an 88, but I don't think that affects his price that much. Edwin Diaz is a great investment, though. We got the Phillies next, and I'm thinking Turner, man. So Turner is somebody that I've had gotten a few of. He is still minimum price, and for the fact that he could only go +1 and you still make 7.5, 750 stubs per Trey Turner, very good investment right now. I also like Schwarber just for the fact that he's an all-star, and he is boosted his inside edge. He gets a lot of homers. The only thing is DHs, it's really hard for them to get upgrades because they're just relying on their hitting stats, right? Obviously his fielding, garbage. Speed and stealing, garbage. Defense in general, just garbage, right? But Trey Turner's minimum price literally can get him for the cheapest possible, and I still think you can make profit on him. Next team that we got is gonna be the Nationals. The person that I think gets the highest bump is definitely gonna be James Wood, or CJ Abrams, who is the person I think is the best investment right now. We can see that for an 81 overall, he needs to get a +24, right? Kind of a lot. So I think it's probably closer that he gets an 80, and one of these two is probably going to get the highest bump. Could I see a +3 for CJ? Totally. But it's not going to be easy. He needs at least... I guess he doesn't need at least 81. He is an 81 with a +24, right? So that's the most that he would need to be there. We don't know what the minimum is necessarily, but I also like Mackenzie Gore for the fact that he's a minimum price. He's been a little bit worse for wear recently, but he's still a really good player, and has been selected to be an all-star this year. I believe James Wood also was, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to you, young man. Keep it up. He's on our fantasy team. Right? All right. So, next team that we got is going to be the Cubs. And we are talking about... It's going to be really hard to get in on them But we can see that Seiya is an 87 overall with at most a plus 24. So a plus 3 for him would look like a 24, right? But Michael, whoa, never mind. Wow, I didn't realize he jumped up that in price. Michael Bush is a little too hard to get in on now. Never mind about him. So I'm thinking Seiya for sure. I don't mind Kyle Tucker either. He's a really good player. He's been good in real life, and he will be getting upgraded. I just don't know how much that'll affect his price. It doesn't really affect the price as much when you're not going from like, if he was going from like an 87 to 90, that's a bigger jump, right? I'm seeing more like 87 to 89, 88, right? So his price probably doesn't get affected that much. But Seiya Suzuki, definitely going to be a diamond. So there is small margin to get on him if he only goes 85. But the fact is, he could go to an 86, possibly even an 87, right? I think he's worth the risk. And yeah, next team that we're talking about is going to be the Cincinnati Reds. My favorite investment is probably going to be Andrew Abbott, just for the fact that he is minimum price. I don't think that he is going to be the biggest jump in terms of players on this team, but still think that he's a really good investment because he's been great in real life, right? He's the ace for that team now. I'm sorry, when Hunter Green is not playing. He was the ace for them, not anymore. Next team that we got is the Brewers, and they definitely have a lot of people that could be seeing upgrades, and I definitely expect a lot of them to be getting upgraded. But I think the best player in terms of further where they're at right now, and the best investment is going to probably be Bryce Terang. He's almost minimum price, and I could see him easily going to an 84. And for the fact of that, he's still, like, there's still room for him to be invested in. Like, you could get him at almost 1.2, which is where he lies usually. And if he goes to the +1, which he has been doing pretty solid recently, you make a 300 profit instantly, at least. I do think that it's a little riskier, but Yelich is a very solid one as well. I don't know what overall he would go to. I could see an 82, but I'm not seeing much more than that, right? But Brewers are solid. Next team that we got is going to be the Pirates. And with the Pirates, not a lot to love about this team, but I do actually like Dennis Santana as an investment. He is the current closer for this team. Very solid player. We can see that for him to get a +6, he needs a 26 overall boost to his stats. And as a pitcher, that's a little harder, but I mean, 26 is not a lot of stats, right? Definitely something to look into with him for sure. Cardinals we got up next, and pretty obviously my favorite investment is Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray is currently at 1,600 though, which is pretty steep for an 83, but definitely has the chance to go 85. He would need a +2 to do that. And is that easy necessarily? No. But I mean, I definitely think he's really close. I could see it, definitely for sure. Next team we got is the Diamondbacks, and my favorite one is my favorite player. Never stop talking about this man. And if he's not a diamond, I swear I'm flying to San Diego and I am giving a hug to everybody. What did you think I was going to say? Eugenio Suarez, man. My favorite player. We can see that he is with the inside edge, he's an 85 overall. And he would need at max a 26 overall bump, which I would love to see. I definitely think his power could use a boost, man. Surprisingly, in his contact. Because his average has been a lot better than people would imagine for a Eugenio Suarez. And his hitting numbers. I mean, dude, he has 25 homers, if not more. he's been great. Legitimately, he's been a very pivotal part of this Diamondbacks team. I also like Ketel Marte. I still think that he's probably going to go up to like a 91, 92. That's my guess, 92, I'd say. We'll see. We definitely will see. I don't mind Josh Naylor either, just like as a shot in the dark, just because he's minimum price and he could see a bump just because on the season he's still been doing about what he's been doing, but you never know. Next player that we got for this team, the Rockies, is going to be Hunter Goodman, man. Absolutely phenomenal season from this young man right here. He has been really good. We do see that he needs a plus 26 to be a 78, or at least max. He'll need to be at least 27 to get to a 79, right? I don't think he's going to get gold just yet, but I do think he's on the cusp of it. So the fact is, if you're getting in on him early, that's the best chance for him to be a very investable price for you. Next team that we got is going to be the Dodgers. Diamondbacks we already covered. I don't know. What you doing, Devin? Next team we got is the Dodgers, and I'm thinking Andy Pages. He has been really good, and I know a lot of people were super, super high on him early. He was over 2,000 before. I think he was like 2,300. But, bro, he hasn't necessarily turned it down. His average went down a little bit, I believe, but not to like a bad, like not a scary degree, I don't think. And he's only 1,900. I still think this guy could go diamond. I really do. Could it be because I have 67 of him? Maybe. Am I a little biased? Maybe. But I still think he's a really good investment. I also like Will Smith. Somebody pointed him out to me in my comments on one video. He's a really good investment. So you were definitely right about that, my boy. I will not lie to you. And the next team that we got is going to be the Padres. This is the second to last team that we got. And I think Nick Pivetta is a very solid one. He was somebody that I honestly thought could be going to like an 84 like early on in the year. Started kind of, dipping down, cooking himself a little bit. Still think he started to do a little bit better. I think he's good. And I think that we could see an 82, maybe an 83 if you're lucky about it. This is the last team we got, though, and it's going to be the Giants. Very interesting team. A lot of people that are very close to upgrades. We can see Matt Chapman needs at least a 23 to be an 86 overall. We don't necessarily know what that means for him to be an 85. I don't think that he makes the diamond tier, but he's a very solid player. Randy Rodriguez. He needs a plus 18 to be an 87. This guy is, I think even still with the price that he is at 2.6, still worth the investment. Very, very high price to be paying, but for how he's been playing, he's not turning it down, right? So, I hope you guys enjoyed, though. The roster update is on July 11th. If you made it this far, you definitely got to hit the sub, because I'm going to be making millions. You should be making a couple hundred thousands, right? If you've been listening, if you've been tuning in to videos, you're going to be making, right? And that's all it's about, man. We got a bunch of cool All-Star content coming out on Friday as well. Very exciting stuff, and we're not stopping, right? So if you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed, hit the like, hit the sub, and I'm out.